but not yet.
Dang.
I know. I was like, wow.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I was like, wow. But we didn't give any last time at all.
We didn't have any to get.
Yeah.
Maybe
Mm-hmm.
out.
Mm-hmm. And here's the,
Wow.
here's the.
Yeah, but that's over 3 months.
I know, but compared to.
Free.
Everybody's struggling, I'm done.
Oh, I know, tell me. But I just sold the house.
Yay.
Yeah.
I mean, it did a bottle, I don't know. You are.
Sorry. Huh? Oh, I'm being, hi. Okay. Approval of the agenda. I entertain a motion. I forgot where I was when I was done.
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved,
I second.
seconded to approve the agenda as written. Any other comments or anything? Not, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
So moved.
I move to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the last meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
I don't have a picture.
Colored picture.
Oh,
See that one?
Is it in the front there?
Over here?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't dig through this.
Me either. I think it's the top page.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's we going first? Wild Bunch? No? They're not here?
They're not here yet.
Yet. Okay, we're gonna skip them for a minute. And then we'll go to Main Street.
Good evening. We have submitted 2 requests for this quarter. One is for Halloween on the Plaza, which, as you all know, is the community-wide Safe Stop Halloween trick-or-treat event. It brings thousands of kids, I think around 3 to 4,000 kids every year, along with their moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and everybody else. We're also partnering with the Lee Theater again this year for a special showing of Beetlejuice directly following the Halloween on the Plaza trick-or-treat event. And also with the Lovington Fire Department will be having their haunted house in conjunction with our event as well. The other one is for the Shop Local for the holidays. And I kind of lumped that all in together because it starts the beginning of November and will run all the way through the end of December. We have a few events scheduled that correspond with that, including a downtown open house for all of the merchants, which will be a downtown-wide event. We're going to do this Shop Small Saturday, again, the Saturday following Thanksgiving. And then we partner with New Mexico Main Street for the Shop Main Street for the holidays. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, let's see who's next. Museum. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, Jake. Farmer's Market.
Okay. I have freebies too today too. So, Farmers Market, what we're doing is October the 15th, we're going to have a fall festival. And in this fall festival, we're going to have the Wildcat football boys. They will be there doing the football toss through the tire, we're held. And they will also be able to teach some of the smaller kids if they want to learn. They will be able to teach them doing that. We will also have the volleyball girls there from Lovington and Tatum to be able to do demonstrations for volleyball because we've got some really good teams both places. We are going to have some karaoke and singers there also. And we also are doing multiple advertisements. We will be doing in Lovington, Homs, and surrounding areas, radio, newspapers, and so forth as we go. Our brochures will be out by that time also to go into all the hotels. And we have our new bags in. These are reusable bags. It says Lovington Downtown Farmers Market on them. And each one of you will get one of these, and we tell people to bring them back, fill them up with vegetables, and come back each and every Saturday. And we do have a lot of people that come back each and every Saturday for us. And they are double stitched. They should last a long time. They're also washable. So each one of you will get one of these. Is there any questions to our program at all? I know it's been kind of slow this year.
Excuse me.
Lisa, there's a lot of yellow squash.
These are yellow squash.
The tomatoes are just now coming
Are
off,
they just now
guys.
coming? That's what I have.
Yes.
I need yellow and zucchini so I can make calabacitas because those are so good.
We've got all the vegetables coming off right now, but the tomatoes are just now coming off. And what happened to that was it was too hot, too quick. The ground was still too cold. And that happened. We had 2 healths. They had to plant, some of them had to plant once, replant once, some had to replant
Oh
twice.
my gosh.
So that's why our season is so late in getting our tomatoes off. And hopefully we won't have a frost too early
Yeah.
and let our tomatoes
Have
ripen.
to have a fall. It's like fall.
Yeah, I know it feels like fall sometimes. So does anybody have any questions about our program at all?
I think it's great.
Are y'all coming? I didn't see you lately, Callie.
I don't.
You haven't see Saturdays and mornings.
I don't know the movies. I used to come to town.
I know. But y'all all need to come down and see us.
I know.
That's the main thing.
I've been meaning to come get some roasted green chilies, but
Well, you need to do
I
that.
know.
But then have everything coming off. I know black eyed peas are coming off this year also.
Are they still coming off? What- Okay, so I can come get black eyed peas?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jenny, Scott,
She has
she's
some.
got to deliver me a half a bushel today, so that's
Thank you.
coming off. And I know that Jeannie Alexander has that too. so.
Stupid.
Well, I would like plants too. I've got them to give out.
It's a market.
There are mesquite decorations.
Is it year-round this year?
No, it's not year round. We will close at first frost. Frost.
KZOR is still saying year-round, so you might.
Yeah,
check with
we've got some
Sean.
problems in that area
Radio.
too, so.
I was listening to it and I thought, oh, I don't think they
Yeah.
are year-round.
Well, we will go as far as we can go, and if you need help on anything, we'll have some vegetables there,
Sounds
so.
good.
But
Okay,
if you don't have anything else, I will just.
thanks, Joanne.
Thank you.
Jim?
We have one Saturday, 9 to 1, right?
We have 5 different programs that I'm asking for some advertising money for. I thought I'd mention real quickly though, maybe you guys are not aware of this, but all of the use of the museum facilities that bring in people that we're really not advertising for. Like the last 2 weekends we've had the 66 and the 56 Lovington High class reunions, and the first of those there were maybe 250 people, the other one maybe 180 or 90 that went to those, and they're here both days. The later group was here for even Sunday. They had a service over there. But anyway, we have those. So we have religious groups, we have political groups coming in there. Of course, we have the other things, the dances and whatnot we do, but Department of Transportation, the State Department of Transportation was in there. We had the cowbells regularly come in there, if you know who they are.
Yes, we do.
Uh,
Texas cowbells.
Then a variety of other groups, and it's real encouraging to see all of the spaces, the town hall and the other spaces being used. In addition to our fabulous pavilion, it's on the east side of the old hotel over there. Take a look at that. I just had people come in and do really good manicuring of the lawns and getting all the stickers and things out all over the entire property. And it looks great. If you want an outdoor venue sometime, you ought to think about that. It's a nice setting. Anyway, I have 5 different things happening in the next couple of weeks that I'm requesting some funds for, if we have any. The Sports Hall of Fame, it's going to be an induction on November 17th. We have Timmy Smith, Jimmy Franklin, and Buddy Garner are going to be three very different kinds of sports with some outstanding individuals that will be inducted there. We have a couple of quilt shows. We have a fellow historian coming in from Santa Fe to do a PowerPoint presentation that is going to be about film in New Mexico, a history of film. He's a historian from Santa Fe and specializes in movies. And then we have, I put down this year, haven't asked for that in the past, but if there's any money for Christmas at the museum and Halloween, that's the other request. That's 5. Be glad to answer any questions you have about any of those.
Anybody?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Wild Bunch.
How you guys doing today? Hey, everybody was excited about that new hotel this summer.
I bet they were.
They were. They loved it. Some of them even stayed an extra day just because they liked it. And well, this
Yeah,
was
it's
going-
right there. They can walk to the
Yeah,
park.
everybody walked. A lot of people went over there and kicked back with some other people, and they swam while they were there waiting. It was nice and hot, so it was worth it. I got some towels left over. I got 4 of them. Anybody wants any? I know some of you guys, don't any of you guys golf? You golf, don't you think?
Well,
He-
They're not a
imitate the sport.
They're not a t-shirt. We made sure they put black on them.
Thank you.
Actually, the client's house.
There you go.
So this year, hopefully everything went good, and you guys might be able to help us this November for this tournament that everybody's excited and ready to come back for.
And pray for good weather.
Yes. Well, even if it's bad weather, they still show up.
That's right.
Yeah, I know one March it was still frost in the morning, and everybody was ready to play. So, but we had to back it up a couple of hours. But everybody's ready to play on the frozen ground. I know when it's work, everybody wants to go home.
I'm glad they walked in line. I'm not.
You guys got any question on this event? And it's a repeat one. 7 years already on this one.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Okay, James, you're up.
Okay, so, there has been an increase, thankfully, in our lodger's tax. The beginning cash balance, of course, is when you only have expenses for the Chamber of Commerce, of course, $3,000, it really helped replenish. So when you look at our beginning cash balance of about $14,300, we have no pending expenses. We have, this is actually up to date with every lodging entity reporting for the past 3 months. You see that our projected revenues, we're looking at $13,175. Let me explain how we arrived at that number. Being very careful, what we did was we actually took the actuals of what were reported for July, August, and September. Of course, you know, September was actually capturing August stays, and so on and so forth. It stays a month behind. Well, with Fair and Rodeo, it was very inflated. I actually, out of curiosity, ran the percentages whenever you average the July and August period, and then you compare it to the September collection period, we had like, well, Western End, they had a 433% increase. Let's see, the Lovington Inn had 131%, Comfort Inn, 84% increase. So you kind of have to take that into account. So what we did was we averaged it and then actually reduced the average by 30%. Whenever you just average the previous two, what I would consider normal months, and then added in the the difference, subtracted the difference from fair and rodeo, there was about an $800 difference. So we think that this may be relatively close to what we can anticipate revenue-wise. So this 13,000 is a 30% reduction of what was actually collected this past period. So we actually have an estimated total available of 27.5.
Okay.
That doesn't take into our reserve and all that.
That does not. That's without the chamber and also our reserve. So whenever you look at the on the recommendation portion, there's two versions. They get copies.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
Did you-
it's in
The back,
it's of this.
right for number one.
Right
there.
there.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
There you go.
So before I explain the version 1 and version 2, so with the estimated funding available of 27.5, we have, of course, $3,000 for our chamber. And then, of course, taking the reserve, that leaves us a maximum funding available of $20,540.33. So when you look at these versions, of course, we only had 21,911. I don't think that's ever happened to where it's been that close. But like I said, these are just projected revenues. I mean, I know we have one hotel that's really busy, but you look at others, they're virtually empty. So we are kind of really looking into the crystal ball and kind of guessing what revenue is. I did add some extra stuff down on the bottom, which I'll explain in a minute. Now, version 1, using the evaluations that everybody did, thank you for doing that, and plugging that into the formula, you'll notice that the second to the last column, the recommended funding, using the formula, it actually increases that well above what most people had requested funding-wise, which would basically expend, if you awarded that, would expend $20,540. Version 2 takes into account basically using the evaluation average and that percentage of the score, and that's the maximum funding, which only means that we would disperse $13,913. Now, the reason I added this down on the bottom is we are bound by law, state statute, as far as how we have to spend these lodger tax funds, which there's a 5% lodger's tax in the city of Lovington, and we are not what they call a Class A county. So what this means is that we have to spend.
That's all we need.
We like to pick up Class
That just took a whole
That-
down there.
We go this way.
The train has jumped the tracks. All right. So what this means,
Do we have any class?
yes, we do. We have a lot of classes. All right. So what this means is, since we have a 5%, is that 50% or half of the first 3% of the tax has to be spent on what these uses are: marketing, advertising, all that other stuff. The remainder of that can actually be used to fund city operations, fund buildings, fund public safety. However, since there's that remaining additional 2%, above that 3%, you have to spend a quarter of that. So whenever you look at this, that means that we are legally bound to only dedicate $11,016 to these projects. This does not include, the $11,000 does not include the dedicated chamber funding. That actually does not fall under this particular classification. Our recommendation is, given that we really don't know, and we got ourselves into a big bind this last time because really the downturn, we took a pretty good hit. We're recommending that we only, would do the version 2 option of funding. I know that it would build up the reserve if our funding comes in. Everybody's actually getting fairly close to what they had originally projected, but it's one of those things where we really don't know how this is going to affect us. And I know we have the new hotel. We only have 3 months of data on that hotel. We don't know if there's going to be peaks and valleys. I know we have some softball tournaments coming up. That's really going to help, but 5% off of Alfredo. Do you know what they're charging you as far as room nights over at the new hotel? It's like $80, I think. I was quoted one rate at $80. So 5% tax on top of that. We'd have to generate a heck of a lot of room nights.
How many rooms do they have out there?
When it's 60,
60.
I think it's 60.
I think you're right.
We booked the
Well,
whole
the
entire
figure that I always throw out is, for every $1,000 that they use, you have to fill
I didn't know we did that.
200 rooms.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's just for every $1,000 that comes out of this fund, there has to be 200 rooms. So
In the city, 200 rooms in the
But-
city. Out of all the
and that's at $100 a night, and we're not getting nowhere in Lee County is getting $100 a night on a steady basis. So that's just at 5%. You get $5. So 200 just to replenish the fund, $1,000. So I mean that.
But the reason why I'm being so cautious, I mean, granted, if you decided to go with the version 2, that's only going to save $6,000. But I'll be honest, just much like every other municipality in Lee County, we're seeing revenue reductions. I mean, we had a good hour-and-a-half productive staff meeting this morning about that. But we're looking at losing it. I mean, we were projecting decreased revenues to begin with, but actually now we're revising our revenue estimates, and we're looking at least another $1.5 million loss in revenue. So fortunately, we've been able to preserve some of those. We've caught some lucky breaks, but also through smart budgeting, we still have a decent reserve. Our whole goal the past 2 years have been is to preserve jobs. And we're still having to do that. But we've already taken the step to where any general fund projects, capital projects, are frozen. We are not going to be doing them. So we're not buying additional police cars. Another project that was a general fund was redoing the main road at the cemetery. We've got restroom remodels at some of our concession stands. About $537,000 worth of projects that are frozen.
You didn't freeze my street though, right?
So that's a different type of funding stream. And that's one thing. We are going to be doing some capital improvements, but the ones that we do are from restricted funds that can't be used for anything else. For instance, LEDA funding, road tax, our capital improvement fund. But our general fund is one of those things. Now, will $6,000 keep us afloat? It will keep us afloat for about half a day, employee-wise. I can't remember exactly what those figures were. We are not at the point yet to where we're even talking about reductions in benefits or eliminating positions. We're not at that point. We're being proactive and just being very cautious with it.
Well,
But
we would take a pay cut if we could.
and I know you would. So you can make the check out to City of Lovington.
Yeah, but, half a zero is still
But
zero.
it's kind of, this is kind of I mean, we've all experienced these downturns before. But I don't know, this one's a little different, it seems. But we don't really know exactly what.
This is close to the 95.
Mhm.
It really is. And the longer it goes, the closer it's going to get. So.
But that is our recommendation, is that you award funding based on the numbers provided in version 2.
Well, the numbers in version 2 are the majority of the expenditures are
Very close to what they.
75, anywhere from, it appears,
We could go through.
60 to 75%, and compared to zero last
time,
month,
I think
then
they'll
I
be
think
happy.
that's a pretty good,
Or 20% before.
right. Now, fortunately, and this is a question, at our last meeting, we did say that, or I did, and I don't know how we stood on it, is that some of those funding requests could be carried forward. They weren't. I don't know if that I don't remember how we left it, and I'm sorry.
No,
I
they,
didn't-
they could come and request.
Okay, we had to request
At the
again,
next
okay, which that didn't happen.
quarter.
Okay. I couldn't remember how we said that, so if, of course, it'll be another 3 months, but, my recommendation, or, excuse me, I will put a motion that we accept, version 2 as the, recommendation from the,
Second.
from the city, or,
I agree.
and if there is a reserve, then we'll evaluate it in 3 months and say, okay, we've got a little more than we thought it is, so. I'm sure that somebody out there will come up with some way to spend it, so. Or to request for it, excuse me.
There you go.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the city's recommendation version 2.
Does everybody have, I'm sorry, does everybody out there have even, do you have a copy of this?
Are you gonna put this up here?
If they have a copy, then we don't need to, as long as they know what they're kind of looking at, so.
Okay, does anybody out there have any questions, comments? Does anybody on the board have any discussion?
No.
Okay, that being said, if that's all in favor,
All right.
all those opposed?
Oh,
Yeah, I see.
yeah, you did.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all
good.
We're all good. Put me down as no. I will not take a pay cut.
Thank you. Y'all have a good, y'all have a good evening. Thank you.
Okay, now we're to public comment. Oh, no, yes, public comment. Do y'all have anything to comment? You're the only public here other than them.
Good evening, board members. My name is Jake Crum. I'm the general manager of the Lee County Event Center and the Fairgrounds. We were here tonight based on the understanding that our proposal from the last meeting was actually going to be pulled forward, not that we had to actually resubmit it. So our misunderstanding, and we apologize for that. So we'll be back at the next meeting. So.
Okay, what were you going to request it for this?
From the last meeting that we were at, we had been requesting some funding for the fair and rodeo specifically, and at that point in time there wasn't enough funding to go on for anybody, so the conversation was that we would look to do that again at the next meeting, but I guess it was our misunderstanding that we had to resubmit
Sorry.
that. So.
Don't feel bad, that's the reason I asked, because I couldn't remember exactly how it went. But,
I mean, sometimes we, it has been happened, I can't even talk, where the request came a quarter early, and we reserved it for the next quarter. But because we didn't have anything, that's what happened.
No worries. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And I want Chris Stapleton next year, by the way.
Sorry, say that again.
Chris Stapleton.
with the checkbook out,
To
I'm sure
perform.
they'll work with you.
Or George, I mean.
Well, before he gets too big. He's good though.
I know, but actually, we're gonna try to get him at Main Street for Smoking on Plaza. Try. Okay, anything other? Discussions, questions, comments? Okay, I'll have a motion, entertain a motion to adjourn.
No, so moved.
Move to second, let's adjourn.